Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host, Emily. Hope you're all fabulous, guys. It is snowing outside, so what an appropriate. Oh my god, I'm going to feel so festive doing this. So yeah, it's snowing outside. We're gonna talk about 5 ways to not get fat over Christmas. Do you like the title? Probably could have thought of something better, but this is what we're gonna go through today. How to not get fat over Christmas, okay? Because it is the one thing. If you are listening to my podcast, you're into your health, you're into your fitness, you're into your fat loss. This is what you're here for, right? Also, today is the first day that I am back wearing the Empowered hoodie. Even though I've been back to work for like 2 weeks now since the baby. I was like, why? I'm getting a little bit more. I said this last week, I think, getting a little bit more. Okay, I'm like a bit more structured today, like coming back into work now. So I've decided on my work days, I'm going to wear my work uniform, and on my non-work days, I wear my mum uniform. So here we are. Let's get into it, shall we? Because you know what, nanny daycare's in downstairs, and the mums listening will absolutely get this. How much you have to just get shit done when you're a mum. Like, you don't have time to fanny about, which I realised I used to do a lot of pre-Eliza. So this is obviously going to be applicable to everyone, whether you're mum, not mum. I want to be, my coaching and my podcast, they're not going to go, at the moment, all down that mum route, okay? I'm passionate about way more things than just that. So this is going to be one for everyone. So if you skipped out on the birth stories and the birth recovery, that's fine. You don't have to listen to that. And if you're here just for the fat loss thrills, let's go. So I've written down 5 things that it's always good for me as well, like, because I'm obviously going through fat loss at the moment, postpartum, and I always find I get like these little ideas when I'm in fat loss myself. It probably makes it easier for me to talk about fat loss, to be honest with you, when I'm going through it myself. I'm going to let you into something. So before we go into number 1, just about my fat loss, I tried on my jeans about 2 weeks ago. Why? Because it was the one, you know what? It was like the big red button moment. When I was pregnant, I remember seeing these reels on Instagram, and it was like the worst thing that you can do after you have a baby is try your jeans on, because you will put them on, they will not fit, and you feel like shit. And I was like, right, okay. So 2 weeks ago, what am I now? So I'm 6 weeks postpartum tomorrow. So yeah, 3-4 weeks ago, I tried on my jeans, and I was like, fucking hell, why have I done that? And I've just tried them on just then, and they're a little bit better. I mean, nowhere near pre-baby, right? I can button them up. Can't breathe in them, but I can button them up. So, you know, we're making moves, right? So yeah, I just thought I'd let you in. That's my progress so far. And do you know what? I'll do a podcast about my fat loss maybe next year or something like that. Let's talk about me and you, all of us doing it together. So 5 ways to not get fat, 5 points that I know if you follow, you'll be fine, okay? And you just, because the problem that we have this time of year is the fuck it button, right? Is now is the time that people decide, oh, I've been dieting all year, I'm not doing it now, press the fuck button, I'll start in January, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is, we know Christmas can be super calorific, okay? We get all the lovely food. One of my favourite things to do is read through the Aldi food catalogue and circle what I want, you know? I'm with you on that one. But at the same time, if we choose to be ignorant and, you know, drop all the habits we've been working hard for over the year, press the fucking button on every single social occasion that we have, you are not going to be in the position that you are in now come January, okay? You are going to be 10 steps back. And you know what? If you're okay with that, that's fine. You probably want to turn this podcast off. But the fact that you're listening to this episode, there's something in you that thinks, I don't want to put loads of weight on over Christmas. You know, every year I go in January a stone heavier, I'm starting again, it's a slog, blah, blah, blah. So, and it's because it's really easy to do that. Okay, we have social occasions, we have calorific food, it's snowing. So what do we do? I'm not driving the gym, I'm not getting my steps in, you know. So that puts us in less of a calorie deficit than usual anyway. So we have to look at the things that we can tap into our mindset to keep doing over Christmas. without over restricting, because one of the biggest things I am so against, right, is starting a diet now. Like, what are you doing? If you are starting a diet now, it is going to be the biggest crash diet that you have done all year, followed by the biggest calorie intake, because you are going to massively restrict, and what follows restriction is overconsumption, which we don't want. Okay. So if you have been dieting and you're still dieting now, that's okay. This podcast is still going to help you. But what I wouldn't recommend is, don't go in with the mindset of, I'm dieting and then I'm going to go wild Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then get back on it. Because that to me just screams like, unhealthy eating habits. So these are the habits that we can keep doing without feeling that over restriction. Number one, okay, the be all and end all is have a freaking plan. Okay, plan. And any episodes I've ever done about any topic, this is always going to be number one, because without a plan, we are, what do they say, pissing in the wind. Yeah, we're going into the woods blind. It is literally setting yourself up with one step and nothing after it, because we don't have anything to follow. Even if things go a bit squiffy, if we don't have a plan, we've got nothing to come back to. So when I say have a plan, this can be from different angles. The first thing is, look ahead at your social occasions and your time. Okay, so where are we? 21st of November. I think it's 5 weeks till Christmas. OMFG, right? So 5 weeks till Christmas. What have you got in your diary? Okay, what have you got that you can plan ahead for, or at least look at and be like, right, I've got a busy week that week, not so busy that week, okay? And if you have a plan, you can then, if you have a plan of your time, you can then plan other things, like that week's going to be struggle to get steps in. That week I'm probably only going to get 2 workouts in. That week is a great week. I'm going to really smash it that week. And, the following week is busy with social occasions. So I know if I smash it, I'll enjoy the social occasions more. Okay. But sitting down and having a plan, and this is the one thing I do with all of my clients, the beginning of November, I say to them, right, I want the next 8 weeks of social occasions over to me. So every week when they do their check-in, we can see what's coming up and we can plan around it. Or if it's a big social occasion, like they want to wear like this nice dress, or they're going away for the weekend or something, we've got so much time to be like, right, well, we really need to knuckle down now, because we've got that social occasion coming up. So the biggest thing is plan your occasions, okay? Because when you plan your occasions, you can then plan the rest of your time around it. Otherwise, what happens is we don't plan ahead. We have a snow day, so we don't do our steps, and then we've got big occasions at the weekend, so then we're overeating, and then we go into the week after, we don't plan again, and it just gets messy and squiffy, and before you know it, it's Christmas, it's January, and just because you didn't have a plan, you lost control, you let go of the reins, okay? So the first thing is, you can have a plan, okay? Once you've got that plan, this is then going to help you to go into point 2, which is set your expectations. All right? Because if you write down your plan, your social occasions, your weeks ahead, what they look like, you can then set your expectations of what's going to happen over the next 5 weeks. Okay? Because what you can't do is look at your plan and go, and told me to do a plan, there's my plan. I'm out next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm out the week after, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The week after, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to smash this. Well, you're not, are you? Because if you're out that amount of time and it's involving drink and it's involving food, then we know that we can't achieve fat loss, and we can't maintain results if we're over consuming. Our maintenance calories 2, 3, 4 times a week. Okay, 1 to 2 times a week, going over calories, as long as we're managing the rest of our time, which I'm going to tell you how to do that in point 3, then we can manage it. We can manage to maintain. Okay, I think what I want to be really clear about is this podcast, this episode is not telling you how to lose fat over Christmas. It's how to stop getting fat over Christmas. Okay, it's how to stop that reoccurrence that you see every year, where you go into January, you're stone heavier. Okay, it's telling you how to stop that. Okay, staying on expectations, here's what I want you to think. if you have got social occasions and they do involve food and they involve drink and you want to go and you don't want to enjoy yourself, you've probably got to be okay with going into January maybe 3, 4, 5 pounds heavier. That's pushing it, right? Like I'll be dead honest with you. I went into January this year £5 heavier than I was pre-Christmas. Do you know why? Because I knew I was going to try for a baby. So what did I do? I drank the Prosecco whenever I wanted it. But my expectation was I'm probably going to go into January a little bit heavier. Okay. I then got up shit creek because I fell pregnant on New Year's Day, I think. And obviously when you're pregnant, you don't diet. So I started my pregnancy £5 heavier. Anyway, that's my story, not yours. So as long as you are expecting a few, one of the things that I say to my clients is over Christmas, if you want to enjoy yourself and you want to have a few drinks and nice food, please step away from that expectation of, but I don't want to put any weight on, because you can't do both. All right. You can't come away from normality. Let's say, we'll use me for example, £150. Okay, I like being that weight. It's my good weight, my happy weight. It's where I know that I'm training well, I'm eating well, I can have my bits and bobs at my weekend, I can eat out and I can maintain that and I feel good. My clothes fit nice. That's my happy weight, okay? I know that over Christmas, me saying to myself, because I like to let loose over Christmas, it is the time that I enjoy more than like summer and stuff like that. I like to get the pate out. I like to have a bit of cheese, bit of red wine with Ols, bit of mulled wine. So I know that me saying I want to stay at £150, it's like butting heads with the wrong thing. I'm saying one thing, but my actions are doing another. So I move my expectations and say I'm going to keep doing X, Y, and Z, which we're going to come into in point 3. But because I know I'm consuming a bit more foodie, when it goes to January, I'm just not putting a stone on. I'm okay with a few pound going on, because that is so much better than stressing about the scales going up, but wanting to do actions that are going to see them go up. Okay. So my point 2 is set your expectations. When you've got your plan, I want you to then look at your plan and think, I am drinking or I am eating out 3 times a week over the next 5 weeks now. I know that I've got to put some actions in place to make sure that doesn't ricochet me into banging loads of weight on, loads of fat on, and coming into January feeling a bit shit. Okay. So when you have that plan and you're setting them expectations, just look at your actions. Okay. Are you going to have to, let me just read where I'm up here. Okay, let's talk about it in this because I'm on a roll. Are you going to have to make some compromises? I don't like the word sacrifice, because sacrifice is giving something with no reward. Okay, whereas what we're looking at here with social occasions, we're compromising, because I want to say compromise, let's say you've got 3 work dues, because some people have 3. It's weird, but they have department work dues and close friend work dues, and anyway, all of that. So if you have 3 work dues, pick one that you are like, do you know what? That's the one. I want to have the Prosecco one. That's the one. I'm going with the people I really like. We'll have a ball. That's the one. That's me one. On the other 2, make the compromise and say, I'm probably going to limit myself to 2 drinks on that one. I'm going to make sure that I have the prawn cocktail and not the pate for my starter, because I know it's lower calorie, higher protein. Okay. And because the compromise is, okay, you compromised on the food, but you're going to wake up the next day and be like, do you know what? I didn't press the fucking button. I don't feel sick. I don't feel bloated. I'm sticking to my goals. Like, that's the reward that you get from saying no to one thing. Okay. A little saying I have is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a flat no. Okay, if you are being asked to go on a social occasion and you're like, then you really don't want to go. It is not like a hell yes. Okay, for example, I have got best friend's birthday, 14th of December, 2024. Okay, the reason that's in my head is because we planned it in August. Obviously, I was pregnant. That for me is my hell yes over Christmas. Okay, that is the day that I am new outfit, makeup, hair, no, I will not be counting how many glasses of Prosecco I'm having. Okay, that is my hell yes, and I'm excited, and I'm like I said, new outfit, booked my makeup. I'm really doing everything to make that event my one. I've got loads on over Christmas around it, but I know I will make sure around them other social occasions that it's hard because obviously I've had a baby, so I wouldn't be going out getting absolutely pissed anyway. But that's like, that they're the social occasions that aren't the 14th of December are the ones that I will be doing. If I want to have a drink, I'll just have one. If I'm going to eat out, I'll be looking at the menu and thinking, which one's most goal aligned here for me? Which one can I go for that I'm going to still have a nice time? It's still going to be nice, but actually, it's not the most calorific on the menu. And I'll be setting my, expectations and my boundaries on that. So one with your staying on that point too with the expectations and planning ahead is that you might have 3 or 4 occasions that are hell yeses. But if them 3-4 occasions are once a week over the next 4 weeks, like I said at the beginning of the episode, doable, no problem. You just make sure on the other days you are sticking. Well, I'm going into point 3 now. You are sticking to your habits. So number 3 is keeping up the habits you have been doing all year through December. So you keep up the habits around the social occasions, around the difference of routine or whatever you've got going on. Okay, because the problem, let's highlight the problem, then we'll come to the solution. The big problem that we have over November and December, let's just say December now, 21st of November, innit, is that not only do people press the fucking button with food and drink and social occasions and swap chocolate for, swap the vegetables for chocolate and all that. Not only do they do that, they then drop the gym. They stop going for walks. They stop planning the meals. They don't really drink a lot of water. All of the foundations that we work so hard on to get results, to keep results, they then drop them out as well. So it is literally like a double whammy. You're eating more. Let me just close these blinds because I look like the angel Gabriel with that sun coming in. Right. So not only are we consuming more, we're then dropping all of the habits that balance out that create our energy deficit, okay, or that burn calories, or that actually just freaking mentally make us feel good, okay? Because we know that steps, eating well, drinking water, going to the gym, them habits that we've installed not only help our physique, but they also help us mentally. And when we take them habits away, it's like that vicious downward spiral, okay? We then feel worse, so we do less. And then when we do less, we feel worse. And we feel worse, so we do less. And what have we got thrown into that mix as well? Food, alcohol, So if we're not feeling great and we're saying, do you know what, I'm not going to do my steps, I'm just going to sit on the couch. And then you think, oh, I've got that tub of celebrations there. So you go and get them. So you're over-consuming with food and you're under-exerting because you're dropping all these healthy habits. Okay, so I want you, in this order, to keep in mind these habits, right? Number 1, the easiest one of all to keep up is water. Drink your bloody water. And do not think in your head, oh, but it's cold. You probably have lived in England more than 1 year. You know it's cold, okay? Get over it. Drink your water. It's good for you, okay? It's going to help you with everything we've just covered social occasions wise. We're having richer food. Water massively helps our digestion, okay? We're having more alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates us, sends us into a spiral of shit. Drink your water to keep you hydrated, okay? Do not stop drinking your water throughout December, all right? The next one is your steps, okay? Try your hardest to keep your steps up. Whether this might not be going out on a big walk, it might be doing a bit of a dance in the kitchen. It might be hanging on at the gym longer to go on the treadmill to get your steps up, okay? But really try and keep your steps up because, steps are the calorie burner that we don't realise that we're doing, okay? They're the energy balancer that we don't realise that we're doing. So my advice when it comes to steps, especially as it gets darker, don't leave them till later in the day. If you have to leave them till later in the day, that, because of work or childcare or whatever, then unfortunately that's a hand that you've been dealt. Crack on. You're going to have to do them later in the day. If you've got the option to get out in the day, to get out at lunch on your work, come rain, come snow, put a coat on, go and get them done. okay? Because again, with steps, it's also a mental game. It isn't just about maintaining, fat loss or keeping calories at bay. It's going to help you mentally as well. So I always like to throw that in. So water, steps, protein, keeping your protein up. So with social occasions, eating out alcohol, we know that they're not going to serve you 30 grams of protein when you're going out for a meal, okay? What do they try and load us up on? They give you loads of carbs, just carbs actually, they tend to get more of on your plate, so yeah, or sauces or veggies and quite a small portion of protein. So if you are being super social, make sure you're getting your protein in around it. Top tip, this is taking me into my next point actually. I'll just say it in case I forget it in a minute. An amazing tip to have if you're going out for a meal is have a protein shake about an hour before you go. Okay? One of the best ways to manage your calorie intake when you are trying to just maintain weight really is not going into a meal absolutely starving. Well, yeah, I could go off on a tangent here, but it's a time for another podcast. We don't ever really want to be absolutely starving, Marvin. Okay? We want to rock up to a meal looking forward to it, maybe a bit peckish, but what happens when we're starving? We overeat because we eat quickly. Because your hunger signal saying blood sugar levels dropped, we need food, we need it ASAP. Okay. If you think it takes around 20 minutes for your hunger to start to regulate, but in that 20 minutes, you've already, demolished the bread basket and your starter, and that main's coming, and it's all happening quite quickly. You're not giving you a chance for your body to go, okay, we're all right here. So if we don't rock up to a meal starving, we might have that ability to say, do you know what, I don't want the bread, I'm just going to wait for me meal. Because we're not starving, because we all know when we're starving, bread is the best thing in the whole entire world, right? So not going to a meal starving, having protein, but that's coming on to my next point. Let's stick with the habit. So having protein in your main meals, and this comes back to point one, which is planning. So if you're planning ahead that you're out Tuesday, Saturday, having a meal out on Tuesday and Saturday, what have you got to do? You've got to get your protein in at your other meals. Okay, so keep your protein in. And then the last one, the reason I've put this last on our list is because this is probably the trickiest one, is your workouts. As we get more social, more things going on, we do tend to say, which, I get with time, I won't go to the gym that day. Okay. In an ideal world, we say, I can't go to the gym that day, so I'll move it to another day, or I'll go earlier in the morning. But what I would advise you to do is just really try and plan ahead. So if you can't get to the gym one day, you move your workout to the other day. I trust me now, if you sack off working out in December, which so many people do, working in gyms for years, I see it, I speak to people, I'm going to come and see you in January, and I'm going to start working with you in January. I'm like, okay, why? Start now. Yeah. Start now and save yourself a shitload of work in January. That's my train of thought. Doing what I do, when people say to me, I'm going to come and work with you in January, I think you're pressing the fucking button now, and it's going to be so much hard work in January. So, by the by, keeping your workout in as much as you can, okay? But also accepting with your expectations that you're probably not going to be as consistent due to the time of year, and that's okay. All right. So they're the habits that I recommend you to keep in to help balance with managing that calorie intake and not overloading to a pan on the way to January. Keep your water up, non-negotiable. Keep your steps in, hit your protein, try and stay at the gym. Okay. Right. Number 4 then is how to plan our social occasions. Okay. Or plan around them. Because I know we spoke about planning ahead in one, but managing social occasions, and I've put a little side note here, it's not normally the social occasion that does us over. Okay. It's normally the 24 hours after. So when we go out, let's say you're just going for drinks, okay, and you do maybe, I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 calories in drinks. Yeah, I mean, that's a heavy night out, but let's say you do that, okay? That's not really that much, Okay, in the grand scheme of things, over the week, that's looking like an extra 200 calories a day. But what happens is not just the drinking of the social occasion, it's the 24 hours after of Mackie's on the way home. What's that, 1,500 calories? Yeah, waking up the next day starving. So you either smash about 4 slices of bread, maybe a bowl of cereal, because no one's getting up with a hangover having a protein shake. I know that, okay? Which is why we get the protein in before. We'll come to that. You're smashing the bread, then you're on crisps. The celebrations we already know are out, the picky bits. And then, so that's the food side thing, taking you way over. But then also what you don't get out of bed. You sit on the couch. You have zero motivation to stick your head out the front door, let alone go to the gym. Okay? So then we've also got high calorie intake, low calorie expenditure. So on that 24 hours after, that's where I'm just going to say it, take it as you will, the damage is done, okay? That's where you're going to see that massive calorie intake. It isn't on the night out. The likelihood is, if you're chin and Prosecco on a night out in the ratio of 1,000 plus calories, you're going to be twerking. You're going to be slut dropping on that dance floor. You're going to be burning calories. You're walking from one end of town to the other. Yeah, your steps are up. That's not the problem. The problem is 24 hours after, and that is where you need to plan. Okay, plan ahead. So, the 24 hours after, I have a little non-negotiable list with my clients when it comes to any social occasion. Really, if we're trying to maintain, or it's not even about fat loss. I know this whole episode is about fat loss, but I honestly feel like when you don't wallow in your own pit when you're hungover, you feel so much better. Because when we do the wallowing and the eating shit, it isn't just the Sunday that we feel crap. It is the Monday and the Tuesday, especially if you're like me and you're over 30. Like, that's the hard bit. That it goes into the week. So my non-negotiable list is: you get up, you get a shower, whether you're being sick or not, or you feel terrible or whatever, get a shower. That is instant 10 times better. And if you want to go 20 times better, put the cold on at the end. Like, even if it's just to put the cold on, splash your face, that is literally like down in 6 coffees. Like, you are awake, you are fresh, okay? You will feel worse staying in your jammies on the couch all day, not moving. Number 2, get out for a walk, fresh air, blast it, okay? Force yourself to just, even if it's just going around the block, as soon as you start, you will feel so much better. You'll probably keep going. So, get up and get a shower, steps. Now, when it comes to food, I'm not going to tell you, when you're hungover, make sure you have a salad. My one rule is no takeaways. Don't get a takeaway. You can have pasta. You can have a pizza from the shop, okay? But just do not get a takeaway, okay? Have 3 proper meals. Don't get up and have crisps for your breakfast or biscuits, okay? If you want to have a bacon sandwich, great. Protein, bread, yummy, still tasty, okay? For your lunch, make yourself some pasta. So for me, if I'm hungover, I always know. I know now takeaways make me feel 10 times worse. When you wake up and you feel shit on the Monday, it's the likelihood is the food, you've got a food hangover, not a double day hangover. Okay, so make yourself, some pasta, get some cheese and get your protein in, have some garlic bread with it. But whatever you eat, you're still not going to be going over the amount of calories as what you would have if you were ordering takeaways, okay? So on the Sunday, don't get a takeaway. I missed out a point, sorry. Just to go back to set up for the social occasion, even before you wake up and get a shower, I always make sure that I have got in my house. If I'm going out, always got bread in. So if I'm out and I am starving on the way home, it's really hard to recall being out when you haven't been out for over a year. But I always make sure I've got bread in. Okay, so I know that if I'm out and I'm thinking, oh, I'm starving, I want a chippy, I just know that I can go home. And again, even jam and butter on toast, it might be 500-600 calories. I mean, that's a lot of jam and butter, but it might be, but it's still not going to be the 12, 13, 1500 calories the cheesy chips and gravy are. Okay, so get yourself some bread in for after your night out. Then we're getting up shower. Then we're going to have then we're going to have a shower, then we're going to go for the walk, and then you're going to eat your food home cooked, okay? I think that's it, really. Drink your fucking water. Yeah, just drink your water. Flush it out. Oh, that was my last one. Go to bed. Sleep it off, okay? Because we know one of the biggest impacts that alcohol has is makes our sleep terrible. So if our sleep's terrible, that then knocks into our hunger hormones, making us want more carbs. It's just an absolute shit show. So try and plan. Go back, write that down. If you're having your social occasions, make sure the day after you're getting them things ticked off, okay? If you want a mince pie, have a mince pie. Just don't have it for your breakfast, have it after your breakfast. Have some protein, have some solid meals. Okay, so that's number 4, is understanding that actually it's not the social occasion that's going to do you over. It's normally the 24 hours after. A little side note I'm going to cover, because if you want to go and really dig into social occasions, I've done a whole podcast episode on how to handle social occasions. The one thing I will say though is, before the social occasion, before you go out, try and hit them daily habits. This is how it all leads into each other, you see. So we've got the habits where we said about water, steps, protein, workout. Try and do a tick list of that before your social occasion, so you're having a really good solid setup. Right, number 5, last point then, is not to ignore everything that I've said 1 to 4. So I want you to go away. I want you to plan your social occasions. Have a little look at what your weeks look like. How much time have you got? Where do you need to move things about? But be planned, be organised. Planning is the key to success. Okay? Set your expectations off your plan. Okay? Keep up your habits. Manage your social occasions. But number 5 is also relax. Relax. Okay? This ties into how I started the podcast. If you are at a certain weight that you think, oh, I love being at this weight, I feel great, I feel amazing, I really don't want to fuck it up, but then you love Christmas, and you know you go and see your nan and she has a Christmas cake that she makes, or you have, you know, a girls' night where you do the bring a board thing, you know, wear the same colour. I really want to do that, but none of my mates would do that with me 100%. Like, if if you have these things in, relax about the scale weight, relax about putting on 2-3 pounds, because 2-3 pounds, but happy memories, you know, the balance is there. You've worked hard all year, okay? If you have got to a certain place now where you think, I'm really happy, if you keep up with what I've just gone through there, you are not going to go, you know, back to square one come January. It is important that we do not let, in my opinion, body shape, scale weight, you know, these things that, in comparison to having a nice family time and making memories that will last a lifetime, it's so important to not let scale weight and not take them away from us. Because I guarantee you this, in 10 years time, you might have the best memory of, you know, let me just use myself for an example. Last Christmas, I went to house 14 of our friends, 15 of our friends, massive house. We had a big, big tapas night on the Friday night. We all took big bits. We went to pub on Saturday. We all had Christmas breakfast together. There was no thinking about like calories and stuff like that. I'll remember that forever. And I think that was such a great Christmas. But in 10 years' time, someone said, how much did you weigh at Christmas 2023? I'll be like, fuck knows, don't know. Why would that matter? Like, that will be your process, okay? So, I hope this is coming across right. And please don't take that as, said, why does that matter? Go, go, go. Because what we're trying to do is remember that if you're happy, we want to keep that, you know, we want to keep the healthy habits that have made you feel good, because they'll make you feel good mentally as well as physically. But we don't want to be, you know, bound by them. We don't want to be boxed in, that we feel like we can't have that glass of wine with our friends or family. You know, we can't enjoy a certain social occasion because you don't want to see the scales jump up the following week, okay? Just try and relax a little bit, okay? At the same time, I am going to say, a different mindset to have, if you have always been that person that sees Christmas as an opportunity to eat and drink and like be gluttonous, and that every social occasion has to involve a tequila rosé or a Jaeger bomb, like, try and just step away from that and flip it on its head and see the social occasion as, okay, rather than top of the list being food, being drink, getting drunk, whatever, top of list is I get to see my friends, or we're going to see a band, or we're going to see the panto. Even last year, because I did a podcast of this similar to last year, I remember talking about I had loads of social occasions on, and I went to the panto with my mum, and I had 2 glasses of wine, and I had a great time. And it was lovely. And I didn't need any more, because it was about the panto and it was about being with my mum, and we had such a fun time because it was good anyway. So it's having that mindset of, just because it's Christmas, oh God, I sound like such a fucking Grinch, and I'm not. But just because it's Christmas, try not to see every social occasion as an opportunity to eat all the food and drink all the drink. Okay? Try and flip it and see the positive out for what it is. But at the same time, like me, 14th of December, if you've got social occasions that you're really looking forward to, and that you think, oh God, I really want to, do this bottomless brunch, but I'm so worried about what the scale's going to say, that's where you need to relax, okay? We've got 5 weeks. We're probably not in that mindset yet, but it's always good to plan ahead. So listen to this podcast, save this podcast, come and listen to it, okay? Keep your habits up. I really want you to go through that again. Plan your socials, set your expectations, keep your habits up, plan your head of your social occasions for the day after. That's the downfall. And relax, and you'll get through it. And remember that £3-4 you might put on over Christmas, that'll be off by the end of January, but you would have had these lovely memories, a lovely food, but also at the same time, you're not getting to January thinking, oh my God, I've got to start again. Okay, so follow that advice. You'll be absolutely fine. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're done. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it serves you well. Please do send me a message and let me know if you've got any questions. Please fire them over to me. And I will see you next time. Anyone got any suggestions of any podcast you want to listen to this side of Christmas? Hit me up. Okay, guys, have a good one. Love you. Bye.